The art of seafaring has come a long way from the glorious days of sail to the advent of steam. The daring ships and the courageous seamen all embarked on not just voyages, but epics of endurance. And the seaman never could know all that a voyage might bring. It has been said that the toughest rogues make the best sailors. But early seamen soon learned it took more than that to survive at sea. The skills and strategies learned in centuries of seafaring were all used to combat the tiger heart of the sea. By his ropes ye shall know the measure of the seaman, and early seamen learned the ropes quickly. They all shared a respect for the seaman's oldest art, the Marlinspike skills. Passed down from hand to hand, Marlinspike skills have saved many a proud sailor from the murky depths of the sea. From decorative rope work to sail making, and wire rope splicing to rigging aloft, Marlinspike skills are a near lost knowledge. And as any old salt will tell you, this is a dangerous reality for today's seagoing men, for the forces of the sea are unpredictable, and not even modern-day vessels are immune to her powers. But a knowledgeable seaman can prevent potential tragedies and avert real dangers. On today's modern vessels, Exxon seamen are required to learn and master many skills for safe and efficient navigation, steering, mooring, docking, and cargo handling. And Marlinspike skills are only one of the tools at his disposal. During this program, Mr. Alan Engel will instruct us on 4 basic Marlinspike skills on board the Exxon Houston. He will show us how to safely rig a bosun chair, then how to rig a stage. We'll learn how to splice an 8-strand poly mooring line, and Mr. Engel will demonstrate how to make a Liverpool wire eye splice in both large and small wires. As our shipmates Marlin and Spike will demonstrate, Marlinspike skills must be acquired and used to assure safety at sea. For the sea has no compassion, no memory, no mercy. She plays no favorites. Mastering the Marlinspike skills may not only save your vessel, they may save your life or the lives of your shipmates. And as Marlin and Spike will soon find out, the best sailor is a well-prepared sailor. He is the Marlinspike sailor.
I got you, little buddy.
Don't go away, Spike. I'll be right back.
Oh, jeez. Oh, poor Spike. Oh, say, Mr. Engel, I need some help with a bosun's chair. You think you could help me?
Well, I'm getting ready to set one of them down on top of the house. Come on, let me show you. You seem awful excited to learn how to rig a bosun's chair, Marlin, but I really like your enthusiasm.
Yeah, I kind of need a crash course, mate.
Yeah, if it's not done properly, it could cause an accident.
Yeah, right.
I'm getting ready to paint the side of the house now, and I got everything laid out here. This is the block we're going to be using here. It's a 6-inch block. It's probably the best size to go aloft with. You see in one corner the block has the size of the line written right down here in the corner, 3/4 inch diameter. In the other corner, the size of the block, 6 inches. Make sure it's in good shape. You see I shackled the pin here. I have it safety wired so it won't come loose if it starts to vibrate. I have a small wire strap here I like to use sometimes if I'm going to be working near a sharp edge. It's less likely to cut through the wire than this piece of line. A good knot to wrap around something like we have right here, where we have more of a square surface than a round surface, is a French bowline. You can go around twice like I'm doing here. You can go around 3 or 4 times, whatever you want. Make a little loop here. I take a piece of the bite of the line, pass it through the loop. I just take the bitter end of the line, go through my loop, and pull the whole thing tight so it forms a bowline. Move the lines around a little bit so we get them even. And this way what we have is now I have two pieces of line and the load's going to be distributed over those two pieces of line instead of just one. So if we have a problem with chafing or the block flapping in the breeze, we don't have to worry about it. Marlon, if you hand me the end of the line, if you would, please.
Sure, mate.
I'll take this over the top first. And then lead it through my block. And then we'll take it over here and secure it to the end of the bosun shear. I'll make sure the bosun shear is in good shape, no cracks, line's real good. And I'm going to attach it to the bosun shear with a double becket or sheep bend. It's the same knot, just two different names. Go around once, and go around again, through the same hole. Make sure I pull it up real nice and snug. It's a basic knot we use whenever we secure the gant line to the bosun shear. Get it nice and tight. That's it. To make the hitch on the chair itself, I'm just going to take a bite of the line, pass it through, over the chair, then take all the slack out with the bitter end. Pull it up nice and snug. That's all there is to it. We'll use this hook here to put your paint on. We'll just attach it by taking the hook through the line once, we'll go around again, pass it through the same place for a second time. Just like that, we'll make sure nothing's crossed. This works real nice for securing anything, for holding your paint or whatever. Slides up and down real easy, but as soon as you put a strain on in either direction, it holds real nice. Put our paint right on there, we're all set. Okay, let's get ready to throw this thing over. Here on the side. Go ahead and just let the line go. You're right here. This is the most scary part for me, getting in the chair. Just sort of take your time. I'm going to help you.
Right.
Just go slow. Make sure you got a good handhold.
Scary.
Right, make sure you grab a hold of something really good.
Oh.
That's okay. I got you. Slide your feet in. Okay, you feel pretty relaxed? You're pretty safe?
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
All right, here's your paint.
Hold on a minute.
Okay, hold on a second here. I just want to show you something before you take off. Let me grab this other block here that has a poly line attached to it.
Okay.
Whenever we're going to use chemical acids or solvents aloft, we want to make sure we use poly line instead of manila. The best way to secure is what I'm doing right here. Just a figure eight on a bite. I make one figure eight. And I'm going to pass up with another figure eight right over the top of it. It's a much more secure knot than a bow when you get these poly lines. Poly lines, they're not real good for knots. They like to slip real easy. Just take the end and just tuck it right back through. Figure eight on a bite.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, how's that look, Marlon? All right to you?
Yeah, looks good, mate.
Okay, well, whenever you're ready, then go ahead and lower yourself away. By the way, Marlon, where's your buddy Spike? I wonder where he's going in such a hurry. All right, hang in there. We'll get you up. Okay, that looks real good, Marlin. It's a nice hitch. That's the way it should be done. You got good equipment here. You got the shackle C's, chafing gear. That all looks real nice. That's the way it should be done. You did a real good job there. Spike, we had a little problem here with your hitch. So I'm going to show you the right way it should be done, okay? Spike, we're going to set this up the way Marlin's got his. Now, if you will, Spike, if you hold this up for me like this, I'm just going to gather the line up, and you're going to have to move your hand, and just that one hand there. Oh, okay. We just come through. All the way around. And right back through. We end up with the same hitch that we use on the bosun chair. Okay, do you understand that? See how I did that? Okay. That's all there is to it. All right, let's lower it down, Marlin. Lower your end down. Let's lower this end down. Just lower it down easy and see what we got here. Looks real nice. This time, let's get the safety belts on and put some safety lines over. We gotta have them on. Okay, let's use these poly lines for safety lines. We'll tie our figure 8 on a bite right here. Be a nice safe net. Okay, Spike, why don't you watch this over here real close so you can see it. Always consider the use of a safety line while working on a bosun's chair or stage. It's important to secure your main staging lines to the strongest fastening points available. Then secure your safety line to a different point of strength, just in case the others give way. The vertical handrail stanchions we are tying the safety line to here isn't really a recommended fastening point, but sometimes they're all that's available. Just make sure of its strength. Of course, the horizontal rails should never be used to secure line. We're just going to tie a loop in here. When you get down, you just clip into the loop. Okay, we can clip in right now, so go ahead and just clip in. Okay, you can run it all the way through if you want, and just clip it to itself. You can either do it that way or clip to your hook back here, any way you want. That's good, though. Okay? You all set, Marlin? All right, go ahead and climb on your stage. Marlinspike, you comfortable? All right, look, I'm going to give you this line here, this half-inch manila, and I want you to secure it to your gant line here. It's going to run behind your back, and it's just going to be a little added safety feature. It'll make you feel more comfortable, more relaxed in the stage. You'll be able to move about a little easier. We'll use this as a safety line, so you'll be able to move about the stage with a little bit more security. After you finish securing your end of it, just take it around your back and give it to Spike. That's it. Spike, bring it around your back and go ahead and secure it off your end just the way Marlin did his. Pull it as tight as you need to be. You still want to be comfortable. Just a little added safety feature. Okay, that feel a little better? You feel a little more secure like that? All right. Okay, when you get set, just start lowering yourself away simultaneously to get to where you want to start working. We don't put knots in mooring lines, we splice them. Let's try one. Marlon, let me give you a hand taking this thing apart. Let's tell you some knot. Spike, geez, where have you been?
Downstairs.
You look terrible. Hey, what, how about giving us a hand here pulling this rest of this knot apart for us? And once we get this apart, I'll show you how to splice this 8-strand line and put a nice eye in it. Spike, could you get that reel and bring it over here for me, please? We use this reel and lay the line up on top of it. That way we won't have to be splicing it on our knees. We'll lay out an 8 to 10 foot eye right here. Okay, just like that. That's real good. Spike, you look a little raggedy there. Why don't you go back and change your clothes? And while you're back there, go down to the lazarette. You'll see my bag of tools there. And bring all the Marlinspike tools up here, okay? While Spike's gone here, I'll show you how we're going to set this up. Okay, if you look at the line, you notice that there are 4 sides of it, and they're all symmetrical, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to mark one side with one color. I got a couple of magic markers here. I'll just give them to you. There's a red and black. We're going to mark one side with red and one side with black, okay? All right. This is the standing part of the line. This is the part we're going to mark. Okay, this is going to be our, when we splice, we're going to be sitting just like this. This will be our right side, this will be our left side. So I want you to mark the right side with red and the left side with black. It's a good idea to mark the line here so we don't lose track of what we want to do. This way we don't accidentally splice into some part of the line that we didn't mean to. We'll just put on the other side, the other strands on the other side with a different color. We're only going to mark one side of the line here. If we try to mark both sides, we'd really get confused because when we turn the line over to splice the other side, we're going to have so many lines that we're not going to know where to splice. Okay, this is real good. That's marked real well. What I'm going to do is we're going to take this rat line right here. I'll give it to you. And I want you to wrap it right here so that when we unlay the line, we only unlay it up to that rope, okay, so we don't go any farther. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go down to the end and tape all the ends. Thank you. All right, well, you've been gone, Spike. We've been setting this up. I'll show you what we've been doing here. I taped all the ends. And you see the line has 4 pairs. There's 8 strands all together. There's 4 pairs. I tape pairs together. So what I'd like you and Marlon do is just unlay it for me right down to the seizing that Marlon put on. So why don't you guys just unlay it right down to there. Okay, that looks real good. Okay, let me see what we have here. As we look at these pairs here, you'll notice that one pair is laid to the right, each individual strand. All right, you see these are going to the right, they're going clockwise, and these go to the left, all right, against the sun. All right, so we're going to take a pair of rights and a pair of lefts. And these are a pair of rights and a pair of lefts. But we're not going to use these right away, so what we're going to do is we're going to tie these off so we don't accidentally pick them up when we don't really want them. So I just take this piece of line, tie it off just to get those out of the way. Now over here, we have obviously the same thing. We have rights and we have lefts. Marlon marked the rights with the red marker, and he marked the lefts with the black marker. And we're going to lay right-hand strands under rights over here, left-hand strands under lefts over here. We're going to lay from the center outward. So these strands here, the ones to the right, will go in the center and go out to your right. The ones on the left will go in the center and go out to the left. That's all there is to it. Okay, you want to hand me the spike right there? Okay, we can start anywhere we want. We can start with rights or lefts. It doesn't make any difference. Okay, Spike, you can hand me a pair of rights. You can look at them. You can see that those are laid to the right. Okay, Marlon, you pull on that. snug, but not too tight. That's good. Keep the natural twist that's in there. Okay, now I'm going to lay over inside lefts. If you lay the spike or the fed right down in this little groove here, you'll usually avoid piercing something that you don't want to pierce. Okay, you ready to put that in? Okay. Caught in a strand there, huh? Why don't you pull it out? We'll have to... Yep. Okay, you ready? Pull that up snug. Okay, right, just like that. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to untie our line over here and tie these up, and we'll flip the whole thing over and do the other side. Okay, we're going to turn the whole thing 180 degrees over, completely over, so we have the exact opposite side. No, we're not going to mark the other side, because if we're going to have so many black marks and so many red marks that we might get confused. You might be picking up something you don't want. You want to make sure you splice the exact opposite side. You don't want to accidentally pick up something over here or something over here. We laid those two strands in this side, now we want the exact opposite side. So, Marlin, I'm going to give you the fed, and all you have to do is just lay open a set of rights and a set of lefts. Now, Spike, if it gets a little hard, you can always use this mallet. So get it all ready to put in just as he pulls it out. Okay, that looks real good. Now we have each set of pairs in on the top and the bottom. You can see we've already had the start of our eye here. And we're going to finish up one side. It's no need to flip it over again. We just did that to get us started. We're just going to finish up this side. Then once we get the side completely done, then we can flip it over and do the other side. Both sides are done exactly the same way. So go ahead and lay open another set of rights and another set of lefts, and we'll make another tuck. If you're going to want some rights, Spike, you're going to want the set of rights, because he's laying open right-hand strands. Always from the center outward. We've completed all the tucks paired here, so now what we're going to do is we're going to split the strands. So go ahead and tape these strands separately. Once we get these wrapped up, we'll cut them off right at the other end of the tape. Here, take my knife and just cut them off. Now we're going to twist them so they lay parallel to each other. Now, as you see the strands the way they're laying, you'll notice that one strand is on the bottom, one strand's on the top. I have the bottom strand here, and you can see here's the top strand. What we're going to do is we're going to lock the top strand with the bottom strand. I'm just going to lay the bottom strand right over the top, just like that, and that's going to be locking that strand. It's going to go in where it normally would go in, and it's going to come out the center, so we're only going to bring underneath one strand. The bottom strand is going to go in the center, where the first one came out, and it's going to come out where it would normally come out. That's good. Shove the other one in. Splice is complete now. All we're going to do now is just secure these ends off. So I've cut some strands. We'll just take some of these pieces of strands here, these leftover pieces of strands, and just secure the ends off. Just go around a few times, cross it, and then go through. And then I'll hold in there really snug. We'll do each of the 4 pairs exactly like this, so if you want, you can start on some of the other pairs while I'm doing this. I'm going to take a piece of tape here and I'm going to wrap it around these ends just to protect it for a few days. Keep that lashing from coming loose on us. Okay, let's take a look at it. Look how nice that looks, huh? See, all 4 sides are basically the same. This is the completed 8-strand poly eye splice. Looks very nice. If you want, you can test this on the Fairlead over there. If it's done right, this splice should be just as strong as the original line. This particular line, which is a 9-inch poly, the average breaking strain of about 50 tons. Works a lot better than that, doesn't it? Relax. Marlinspike, we don't weld broken mooring lines back together again. We put an eye splice in one. Let me show you how to do a Liverpool eye splice, all right? Come on. Okay, these are going to be some of the tools we're going to use here, all right? I got 3 different sizes of spikes, and that's the main tool that we use for splicing these wire. These are the Marlinspikes right here. And what I want you to do is, I want you to unlay this. I want you to keep 3 strands together. There's 6 strands all together, all right? So I want you to unlay it just half, all right? So we can get the core out. Okay, sort of keep that together. Okay, now, easy way to do this, you grab these 2 here, all right? Okay, you straddle just like that, and you just work this right in here, just like that. And he's gonna, just right there, keep your hands real close to here, and just walk right straight back with it. Just keep walking right straight back with it. Just like that. Well, those guys are out there messing with that big 1.5 inch, which is going to take them 3 or 4 hours. I'll put the same splice in this smaller wire. It's only about 1/3 the size. It's only going to take about 10 minutes. And we'll just parallel what they're doing out there, and you'll be able to follow it a lot easier. What we're going to do first here is I'm just going to lay this just like they're doing out there. Unlay it to wherever length I need. This has a hemp core, just exactly like the wire it does out there. I'm just going to cut it out. Lay it back a little bit right over that core. And while they're putting a seizing on that wire out on deck there, I'll wrap a little piece of seizing right around here. Okay, I'm going to form an eye. Of course, this is a lot smaller eye than we have out there. Maybe I want to use this wire to make a strap or something. I just make a small eye. And the whole trick is what wire we start with. There's 6 wires here, 6 strands, and we want to make sure we start with the right wire. What I find the easiest thing to do is I lay this wire up alongside the standing part, is to look at it like a clock. The wire that touches the standing part, I would call the 12 o'clock wire. This one over here would be like the 3 o'clock, the one facing me would be the 6 o'clock, and so on. And what I do is I like to start with the 3 o'clock wire. In other words, I like to start with this wire right here. That'll be my first wire that I tuck. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to lay open 3 strands, just like we're doing the big wire. This first little wire has got to go through 3 strands of the standing part. And the wire, if you notice, is laid to the right. It's laid clockwise to the right. Alright, so when we splice, we're always going to stay to the right of the core, or we're going to put in the strands with the wire, not against the wire. So we're always going to go with the lay of the wire and never against the wire. Now if you look at the point of the spike, it's not really pointed. It's flat. So when we use the spike, we just rock it back and forth until we open up the wire. We try not to pierce the core. Okay, you see, I laid open 3 strands here. I'm on the right side of the core. If you can see the core inside, I didn't pierce the core, and my spike is going with the lay of the wire. So all I have to do now is take this first strand and just lay it in there. Just like that. Pull my spike out. It's just what we're doing with the big wire out there. Okay, the second wire is going to be the next wire right next to the first one, right around in a clockwise direction. We're just going right around in a clockwise direction. So if this was the first one here, this is going to be the second one, third one, fourth one, all the way around until we get all 6 wires in. So the next wire is going to be this one here. So I'll just unlay it. Right here. And this is going to go in the exact same hole, the exact same lay, but it's only going to come underneath 2 strands. So that means if it goes in here, the same hole, same lay, that means it'll come out here, which is 1 to the left or 1 above where the first wire went. Okay, drive away in, and when we got to work on getting this thing out of it. Okay, so all I have to do now is take my spike and lay open 2 wires, just like that. Take the wire that I want to use, put it through, pull it up to about the same distance we put in the first one, and pull our spike out. Okay? And this is our third wire. We just go right around in a clockwise direction. The third wire is going to go in the exact same hole again, in the same lay, but now it's only going to go underneath 1 wire, which means it's going to come out right here. There's going to be a wire, a working strand coming out every single lay. The first one came out here, the second one came out here, this next one's going to come out here, and so on, all the way up. So if we see 2 wires coming out of the same lay, we know we made a mistake. Just watch your hand on the end of this thing. Pull it up snug. Okay. Now we have the first 3 wires in there, and all the first 3 go in the exact same lay. It's just that they come out in different ones, each consecutive one. Okay, now all we have to do is just like we did with the big wire. On the big wire, what the sailors are doing is they're attaching a come-along here, or a handy billy or a chain fall to pull this up tight. I'll just try to pull it up tight with my hand. Go ahead. Okay, I can take the seizing wire off here. We don't really need it anymore. But I just wanted to show you these first 3 strands. You notice all 3 go into the same hole, same lay, right? They all go with the lay, not against the lay like in Manila, but with the lay. Okay, the first one, remember we went underneath 3 strands, the second wire went underneath 2 strands, the third wire went underneath 1 strand, but they all went in the same hole. Now the 4th, 5th, and 6th wires are just going to go to each consecutive wire. In other words, the 4th is going to come out here, the 5th will come out here, and the 6th will come out here. Okay, that's about it. I really can't get any more. All right. Now we're just going to grab our 4th wire. our fourth, fifth, and sixth wire. So we're going to take the next wire right in succession, just to show so you can see it a little bit easier. Here's our third wire we just put in. We're just going right around again in a clockwise order. Here's going to be our fourth wire. All right, so we're just going to lay this one, and we're going to set that one in, just like we did all the others, with delay. The only thing different is these are now going to go under each consecutive strand. So this next one here is going to go in here and come out here. Next one will go one to the left or above it and come out here. Next one will come out here. Every single strand, every single lay, there's a strand coming out. So let's just unlay that. Let me have the other spike. The next one up from this. Okay, you'll notice in the big wire out there, what we did was, instead of sticking the spike straight in here and trying to tuck the wire, we ran the spike up here. We put the spike in up here somewhere, and then we ran the spike and wire down. And that's we're going to have to do the same thing with the small wire, because if I attempt to put the wire right in like this, by the time I pull it up tight, I'm going to have a kink in here, and I'm never going to be able to pull it out. So what I have to do is, I have to just take this lay. I know my wire is going to come out right here. This next one's going to come out right here. All I have to do is follow it around with my spike, or follow it around with my finger. And that's the exact same lay. The exact same lay as this one down here. So if I take my spike, just like that. If we want to check it, we can run the spike down. And you can see the next wire is going to come out right here. Here's the third wire, and the fourth wire is going to come out right there. So we leave the spike up here. We take that fourth strand. Because we rotated the spike up a turn from down here, we have to always come around once with the wire. If I was to rotate the spike up twice, all the way up to here, then I'd have to come around twice with the wire. Now, I bring the wire and the spike back down in position. Okay, I'm going to keep a strain in the wire. Now, in the big wire, we just pulled the spike out, because the big wire is so tough and so springy, it's just a lot of work to try to work the spike. But with small wire, to make this tight, I'm going to run the spike back up. So we just finished our fourth wire. The fourth wire, you can see, came out right here. Okay, that means the fifth one's going to come out right here, and the sixth one's going to come out here. Okay, since the fifth one is going to come out one above the fourth one, which is one above this one, all I have to do is pull my spike out and raise it up one. Every single time, all I'm going to do is take my spike out and raise it up one. Next time I'll take it out here and raise it up one. So watch. Just pull my spike out. Let me get a little something to hold on to so it's greasy. Keep my eye on it or my finger. Okay. I just raise it up one. Just like that. Okay, and again, if I want to check it, I can run the spike back down. I can see I'm right where I want it to be. Take my fifth wire, unlay it. Okay. Now, as you can see, we're up a turn from down this spot. From the spot where we're tucking all our wires in, we're actually up a turn with the spike. So again, we have to make sure that we come around with the lay of the wire, one turn. The wire is real stiff, and you might even have to come around some more. I bring the wire spike back down, put it in tight, just like we did the previous one. Hold tension on it, run the spike back up. There's our fifth wire. Sixth wire, which is the last wire right here.
I gotta just take a breather.
Just like we've been doing with all of them. All I have to do is pull the spike out, keep my eye on it, put my fingernail in it, raise my spike up one. That's it. Take my wire, wrap it around. Pull it in there nice and tight. Work down.
That's good. That's good enough. That's good. Let it go. Okay, actually hand me the 6th wire, and I'll start. Is that the 6th wire?
Like I was saying before, when we got down to this point right in here, we just pulled the spike out. You see me running the spike back up every time because that'll make the splice a lot tighter. It's just a lot of work in big wire. All right. Now we've finished all 6 tucks. All 6 tucks are in right now. All we're going to do now is we're going to go back to each one of these 6 wires and we're going to tuck each one again twice, which is known as a spiral tuck. So you can see from this point here, I never took my spike out. I just rotated up a turn or half a turn. I'm going to take the same wire, that last wire, the number 6 wire, bring it around,